First of all, I want to thank you all for coming out today. I know you're taking time out of your lives to show the respect for the men and women in law enforcement. It's really sad there's not more here. But I can tell you, I've been contacted multiple times since I did a Fox hit this morning about this. A lot of people are just simply afraid to come out for two reasons. Number one, they've seen the violence coming from the left, and they're afraid. And second of all, it seems like nowadays, if you support cops, you must be a racist. So a lot of people aren't participating, so I'm here to speak to the silent majority that may be silenced right now, but I'm hoping they speak up in the near future. Racism is bad. No one's going to argue that, right?
Right.
What happened in Minneapolis was bad. No one's going to justify that. But you can't vilify an entire institution on law enforcement for the actions of a few. Racial profiling is bad, but so isn't profiling somebody for the job they do. One cop doesn't make every cop bad. I spent over 3 decades in law enforcement. My grandfather was a cop, my father was a cop, and I was a cop. And I spent more than 3 decades carrying a badge and gun. I tell you, every night I laid my head on my pillow, I'm proud of my life serving my country and serving my community, and no one's going to make me ashamed of that. Amen. No one's going to shut me up, and no one's going to silence me. The men and women in law enforcement leave the safety and security of their home every day to protect and defend people they don't know, people they'll never meet, and even people that despise them. They're going to be there for them. I didn't make any promise about being apolitical, and you know me, I'm not going to be. When you got people like AOC and Schumer and Pelosi not speaking up about the violence that happened, they can have their opinions on racism. I have my opinion, and we're all against it. No one's going to justify that. But they'll stand out at a moment's notice and defend people that are here in the country illegally in violation of law, but they won't stand out there and defend the men and women who leave the safety and security of their home every day, put a gun on their hip and a Kevlar vest on to defend their communities. They haven't said a word.
That's right.
You got AOC. She says we should defund the police. And we should all make sacrifices. Okay, so lead by example. Let's take the law enforcement officers to provide them 24/7 law enforcement security. If they want to take protection away from the American people in the communities, lead by example. Yes. Defund your protection first. Yeah. You think they're going to do it? They're never going to do it. And let me explain something. Defunding police, everybody says, well, no big deal. They're just going to take money out of their budget. Every dollar you take away from law enforcement is going to result in less enforcement. That's just a matter of math. When I was director of ICE, I operated like a $7 billion budget. That's a lot of money. I still don't have enough to do my job. You had to pick and choose what's a priority and what's not. So when you take money out of the hands of law enforcement agency, what does that mean? That means less patrol cars out there? Does that mean less police officers in Times Square? Does that mean we can't replace the bulletproof vests that just expired after 5 years? Does that mean they can't pay overtime for when something like what happened last 2 weeks happened? Does that mean they can't fund a wiretap or a Title III that are very expensive when they're investigating a criminal organization? There's got to be a give. Less money means less enforcement. We can't stand for that. This country needs enforcement. I wrote an op-ed the other day talking about the crime rates in this country. Anybody go to the FBI Uniform Crime Report and look at how many rapes and murders and armed robberies happen every day, how many child abductions happen every day. And that's with an abundant police presence, a system of consequence and deterrence. If you think by taking money away from cops, abolishing cops, defunding cops, reimagining cops, isn't going to move those statistics way up out of stratosphere, you're just crazy. You're not paying attention to the facts.
Well, they don't care.
American communities need our cops.
Correct.
They're the finest 1% this country has.
Amen.
And I, look, you look around, there's over 20,000 names in these walls. I buried Border Patrol agents, I buried special agents. I've consoled wives and children of those that died, made the ultimate sacrifice. what's happening in this country, disrespecting every name on this wall and every family member of a fallen. Everybody on this wall are American heroes. They didn't get rich. They paid the ultimate sacrifice. Every one of the names on these walls are a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, a brother, and sister. Cops are human. So for God's sakes, stand up and fight for these men and women. We will hold the bad ones. We will hold the bad ones accountable. They need to be held accountable. They gotta follow the rules. But for the 99% who are out there doing the right thing every day, wake up every day, pin that badge on for the right reason, and serve their country for the right reason, please support them and show your support. We can't be silenced anymore. Speak up. The other side speaking up, we got to speak up. It's unfortunate we all can't speak together.
We're getting there.
So I just want to say a few things in my closing. I said it a few days ago on Fox News, there's a poem that's out there about cops and about their sacrifices. I don't know who the author is. I tried to research it. He's unnamed, but I want to leave with a few thoughts. And as a guy that lived it for almost 35 years, this is so true. When America sleeps, cops are out there. When America is sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner or celebrating Christmas, cops are out there. When it's raining and cold and you're glad to be in your home with your families, cops are out there. When it's your children's birthday, cops are out there. When it's their children's birthday, cops are out there. When America puts on a suit and a dress, go to work, they strap on a bulletproof vest and a gun. There's little room for error in most jobs. You make an error in your job, you can be demoted, you can be fired. A cop makes an error, it means a funeral. When you tell your families, see you tonight, see you when I get home from work, it's going to happen, most likely. When a cop says that, we wish it comes true. At most jobs, you strive to succeed. At a cop's job, they strive to survive. In your job, one bad person is the talk of the office. In the cops' world, one bad officer suddenly makes the news and they're all bad. In today's headlines, it's not what good they've done, it's the one bad thing they did. When you're scared, you call the cops. When the cops are scared, they carry on. When you're eating a home-cooked meal with your family, I know this, cops are eating a fast food lunch out of a paper bag and most times won't finish it because they've been called to duty. While you're asleep with your significant other or spouse, a cop spouse sleeps alone. So the next time you're out there with your family and friends and you see a cop, understand the sacrifices they make every day. How many anniversaries they miss, how many birthdays they miss. Kids' first day of school, kids' graduation. I know, because I missed them. They've sacrificed a lot for this country, so please, pray for them. If you see a cop, you see a Border Patrol agent, you see an ICE agent, walk up to them and shake their hand and tell them thank you. That's all they want. Let them know they're being recognized. For everybody here, I appreciate you being here. By the mere fact you're here tells me you're an American patriot and you love this country. So God bless President Trump.
Woo!
God bless the men and women in law enforcement, and God bless the greatest country on earth, the United States of America.